Alright, what is going on YouTube? KGB, Fire, Ryut, and Goku, most likely Fire and Goku, but Ryut might make an appearance as well, versus Vietnam, Strategy A, Franks, Chinese, Berbers, Khmer, Bulgarians, Portuguese, Saracens, Slavs, Italians, Lithuanians, and Malay, available for Vietnam, and Persians, Mayans, Vietnamese, Malians, Japanese, Huns, Byzantines, Teutons, Indians, Koreans, and Tatars are available for our Brazilian team over here. We'll have Kawasan and Atacama as the home maps of KGB, and we'll have Vietnam Strategy. Say my name in Rolls-Royce. They signed up with the name A, so that's the main reason why they're actually considered the A team. There is a Vietnam Legends team that's BACT and ACCM. There is Vietnam Strategy A, which is Say My Name and Rolls-Royce, and we have Vietnam Strategy B, which is Song Song and Bad Boy. It's a complicated web of things, and the Vietnamese players are not particularly creative when it comes to making new team names for themselves. River Belt and Cape of Storms will be the home maps of Vietnam Strategy A. As we jump into the first game over here, please welcome Vietnam Strategy A on the right side as a red Chinese, and we will also have yellow Slavs for Rolls-Royce in yellow on the right. Goku is playing Huns here, good old-fashioned Huns on Arabia, going scouts as green. Whereas Fire will be playing Mayans in blue, so they went for the old AOC civilizations with Huns and Mayans over here. Patata Max Dex, thank you so much for the 9 months of resub. Welcome back, I appreciate it. Congrats for the Twitch, baby. So, we're gonna have a second range coming in here immediately for Fire. Considering that you started the Blacksmith, you're just gonna go for the second range immediately because you don't need to make that Blacksmith. In RM, you could make a decision if you make a fast Blacksmith and play one range, or add the second range first and delay your Blacksmith. So in here, that's not the decision point because you started the Blacksmith as well. So for now, Goku is gonna have a pretty exposed gold mine, slowly voting himself. Obviously, the fact that he can make houses is actually going to slow down this process. As you can see, a couple of these nice Hunnic houses that spawn in Empire Wars. They don't really have any meaningful bonus by any means. It's just a matter of, you know, same thing spawns for every player, so you're gonna have to have houses. Alright, looking at this one over here, this could be big. Rolls-Royce may not see that there is a hole here, and indeed that's the case. And look at Fire. Look at Fire, he knows exactly that he shouldn't show this ego yet. They need to wait patiently, and you see that these archers, the archers and the spearmen, are heading right into the base of Rolls-Royce. Fire is gonna wait until those arrive and then hit Rolls-Royce's eco, and that could come as a Thundercloud surprise. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see those scouts coming, and that would be even better if they made their way all the way around and just smash Rolls-Royce in the face. Rolls-Royce is definitely the weak link, I would say, in this Vietnamese team. He's the one that's mostly thriving in 3v3, 4v4 team games. He's a good player, but probably the weakest of the four that are currently on the map. For now, Fire is just going to defend with archers over here. Has a pretty exposed gold mine, which is going to be a little bit hard to hold. Not a lot of space to fall back to either, so he's going to have to make these archer wars count. But guess what? Oh! Speaking of a Rolls-Royce, we can actually rewind this for a brief moment. Did you see that? It very much seems like Rolls-Royce realized that the scouts are heading this way. He probably saw them running and realized this might be open, comes in with a house, and then comes in with a palisade wall in the last second. The Eagle trying to deny this one, but cannot. So the scouts remain on the outside. The Eagle is probably gonna remain on the inside, however, and with that house pretty much finished, I don't think the archers can prevent this walling from happening. Rolls-Royce should not lose a villager, as we got Aussie Drongo coming back here with a resub. Welcome back. I appreciate that a lot. With that market is gonna be just blocked by the Eagle, and the scouts are still relentlessly trying to bash their way in. You got the walls coming up, though. The key thing here is not about, you know, walling this one off. It's a matter of whether or not the market goes up. Because if the scouts kept attacking this, they may have gotten inside fast enough for the archers to deny the market, but that didn't happen. And on the other side, Rolls-Royce wasn't really successful pushing Fire either, so it looks like everybody is going Wait a second, this guy is completely trapped in here. I didn't even see that. He will eventually bash his way out, but for now that eagle is stuck. Fire now thinking about moving out, but he has to be careful. Because you got these scouts over here with no upgrades just yet for Rolls-Royce, but if he grabs scaleboarding or bloodlines, he could easily sandwich these archers in between his scouts and say my name's archers. Still, the fact that these scouts don't have a lot of upgrades actually help quite a bit here for Fire to take a good fight. Still, Fire's archers are getting mopped up, so both archer players will pretty much lose all their numbers. In this one, Fire had to make a defensive tower over here. Meanwhile, Goku is still trying to bash his way into the base of Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce is the last player from his team to click up, whereas the only player that hasn't clicked up yet is Fire. He went very heavy on the archers. Now his base is somewhat open though, and considering that Rolls-Royce clicked up, he will get bloodlines now, and he will get +1 defense. So those scouts will start to become a scary force, and that's probably going to pin Fire inside his base over here. Goku is fully evolved, so he's gonna be all fine, already on double stables, getting ready to go for knights. Fire, for now, he's gonna have a tough time dealing with those not eagles, not archers, those are scouts, potato caster over here, if they get bloodlines. But as long as they don't have it, I mean, a couple of spearmen should be able to handle this one, no problem. And it looks like Rolls-Royce wanting to get some value for these guys before Fire finishes the walls, but he won't be able to. You got Goku being very relentless and resilient when it comes to getting into the base of Rolls-Royce. So far unable to, and Rolls-Royce will just mine a bit of a stone here to be able to afford a second TC. So far, this is actually closer than I expected it to be. It is supposed to be favoring Fire and Goku. They are the favorites of the set, but you never know. We haven't seen much from Rolls-Royce in competitive environments, so I'm curious what he can deliver. So far, it's a pretty consistent game from him. Didn't really lose much. Wasn't a super clean Feudal Age from him, but it's not like he made any major mistake. Now Goku is coming in here with Knights though. Here come the Knights as well from Rolls-Royce. Obviously Rolls-Royce will have a very, very good farming eco here. But on the other hand, the Huns obviously will have the generally more efficient economy, plus faster training Knights can help quite a bit, snowballing things at the beginning. And it looks like he's not gonna add houses until now. It's a close one, but it looks like Rolls-Royce is holding. I'm going to assume that these are calculated, as we have Say My Name pushing in here with the support of Rolls-Royce into the base of Fire. We did mention that Fire was kind of late into Castle Age here, so that's why he only just now got Crossbowmen. He had to take down those scouts, but it looks like Say My Name... is he gonna commit? Say My Name is about to have ballistics, so he is gonna commit against this one, because Fire does not have ballistics. He just reached Castle Age here. So with Fire defending over here, looks like Say My Name is actually going to disengage. Rolls-Royce is just voling and voling behind, but Knight numbers are heavily favoring Goku here. Rolls-Royce has +1/+1 on the Knights, +2 defense for Goku here. So those are relatively even Knights, but numbers still favoring Goku. Plus Goku is free TCs. Don't sleep on Goku here. He's already 52 wills, booming on free TCs, plus making Knights from double stables. I kind of feel like Say My Name is a step ahead compared to Fire, but Goku is probably a lot more ahead compared to Rolls-Royce, and Rolls-Royce had to make a monastery here. Well, obviously it's not the end of the world that you have to make a monastery. You probably would have much preferred using that wood on something else, like farms, TCs, whatsoever. As Fire moves out, this is a dangerous decision here from him. It could work if they double team Rolls-Royce right now, but it could also mean that Say My Name could just march into the base of Fire, and there is a couple of villagers here to kill. Those crossbows could just run past here if Fire is not paying attention, and just kill the eco of Fire here. Fire basically has no farm eco. That's going to cause problems because Fire is going to stay on 1 TCs, whereas Say My Name is already going for free, so Say My Name's economy is going to be light years ahead compared to the ones of Fire, but Goku is gonna be considerably ahead compared to Rolls-Royce, who is sort of forced to run away with his Knights being chased down by the ones of Goku. Not much that Rolls-Royce can do at this point, especially because it doesn't have +2 defense. Without +2 defense, those crossbows will just melt his Knights, and you see that Fire and Goku seem to have a bit better unit coordination. Say My Name and Rolls-Royce are pretty much playing as individuals, whereas Fire and Goku seem like they have a little bit more team chemistry over here. Overall villager count is still pretty close though, but those knights from Rolls-Royce are very battered. 10 knights versus 17, and there is a couple of crossbows coming in here to support. Tower is gonna help for a moment, but not for long. So this is where things are going to start getting rough. Monks trying to get a couple of conversions over here for Rolls-Royce could slow down this push, but still, now Rolls-Royce is off from gold, and well, he does have a backup gold mine over here. He only has a couple of villagers on it. Say My Name is closing the distance, going for +2 defense just now. The knight gets deleted by Goku to avoid a conversion, and now the scouts are being sent in to deal with the monks. Rolls-Royce see that, jumps into the TC, and he is going to save his monks for the time being. Some idle time will be on him, but we have Say My Name coming in here with the crossbows. He's gonna have better numbers here than his opponent. 18 versus 38, or well, 34 right now, overall 40 for Say My Name. There is Tumbling for Fire. I don't think that's in there for Say My Name, but in exchange Say My Name has +2 defense, something that Fire does not. And I kind of feel like this may be an overcommitment here by the Brazilians. They're trying to dive deep into the base of Rolls-Royce, but I think Rolls-Royce can just run for this TC, and I think the Brazilians might just lose their entire army here. They will kill a couple of vills, sure enough, but the villager discrepancy won't be huge, and the entire army of the Brazilians will go down here. Because now the knights are jumping on the crossbows, and look at that. Rolls-Royce will actually sacrifice a villager so that the crossbows can't escape. And the knights will try to make a run for it. Once again, Rolls-Royce, nice reaction, traps those knights in there. And this is what I was referring to. Was this really worth it for Fire and Goku? Probably not. Because they now have a 13 villagers lead, but if you look at it over here, those crossbows are picking off villagers. And now Fire and Goku have a decisive disadvantage when it comes to army numbers. The good news is that they have a considerable eco lead, although it's not major. But this is the time frame where Say My Name and Rolls-Royce will have to play aggressive and just use the army that they have right now. 60 army versus 43. Fire is back to decent archer numbers. He is on free ranges with Mayans. But behind this one, Say My Name is imping. And Say My Name going into Imperial here will mean that he's gonna have a huge amount of ARPs here. Fire is nowhere close to Imperial. Neither is Goku, so that early Imperial might actually be sufficient. Say My Name now starting to send villagers on stone. He could really solidify a forward position with ARBs and the forward castle. So, in fact, I would say if you are going for ARBs here, you might want to drop a castle here once you have the ARBs and your opponent doesn't. Because that would just level the base of Fire, deny a bunch of resources, would help immensely. Now, a mistake from Say My Name, I believe, is that he's marching his archers in the middle of the desert alone without Arbalest upgrade just yet. So, this is the recipe to lose your army before the upgrades. This is very, very risky. Looks like Fire is thinking about going into Imperial, and we'll have Imp coming in from Goku. So if Goku gets to Imperial and gets Cavalier, he's just gonna smash the Arbalests, but obviously it's gonna take some time until that happens, and this might not be a good fight here for the Vietnamese team. Because those crossbows need to be Arbalests right now, and they still need some time. Fire and Goku will actually force a fight once they see that Say My Name is in Imperial, but faster working Hunnic stables here, flooding knights, it's gonna be much easier for Goku to reinforce this fight over here. Looks like Say My Name is able to slip away for now. Arbalest Bracer coming in, and when those are in, Fire will no longer be able to take this fight, although Fire is clicking into Imperial as well, and Goku is already on the way, so it's not like it's the end of the world right now that Say My Name has those ARBs, or Say My Name will have those ARBs, because if Fire can preserve his army, and we are gonna have Goku with the cavalry as well, getting Cavalier, then this is gonna be a superior army compared to the Vietnamese team over here. Aren't Bacti and ACCM VNS? No, Bacti and ACCM are Vietnam legends. As I said, the Vietnamese teams had little creativity when it comes to naming their teams, and this is Vietnam Strategy A, to be precise. So now, looks like Say My Name is going to capitalize on that 65 ARPs he has, marching into the base of Goku here. Goku is also losing a lot of production buildings. I appreciate that Rolls-Royce is taking those down, Because now that Goku is in Imperial, it's nice and everything, but if he can't produce more Cavalier, it won't matter that much. Orbs now coming in to push fire here as well from multiple directions, Guard Tower even in for Fire. Fire is gonna be in a tough spot here. He needs to somehow bridge through about a minute of a game time until he has his own Arbalests. But I feel like Rolls-Royce might overcommit here, because those Knights could easily find themselves trapped. There is going to be the Cavalier soon from Goku, and this is where those Arbalests could easily get devastated. So many Cavalier with +4 defense, they will just smash them. There is a couple of Siege Workshops here for Say My Name, or they're planning to go for Siege Ram. So, without cavalry support from Goku, Fire is gonna have some trouble. Cavalier and +4 defense is in for Goku right now, and this is the moment to take that fight, although they probably want to wait until Fire gets Arbalest as well. Goku's gonna lose 1 TC here, his eco is still intact, Rolls-Royce just about to click into Imperial, and boy oh boy. Boy oh boy, that's the type of fight that Vietnam wanted to avoid against Arbalests and against the Cavalier with +4 defense. All of those Arbs for Say My Name will go down. So is the Cavalry from Rolls-Royce, and now they are the ones that have to somehow survive 3 minutes until Rolls-Royce actually gets to Imperial and gets Plate Boarding. A castle coming in here on the front. The good news right now for the Vietnamese team is that with this ram push by Say My Name, Fire will have to ask for the help of Goku, because Fire won't be able to hold that one alone, and Fire is sending out villagers into the castle. Fire looks like he did not know that there's a castle there, and he's still not noticing. Fire is not noticing this, and that's an awful lot of villagers going down over here. So now Rams coming in. No Siege Ram just yet for Say My Name, but he could easily level the base of Fire here. And while Goku is busy chasing down these straggler knights, something that he shouldn't really do, because he needs to send his knights or cavalier now towards the base of Rolls-Royce, this allows Say My Name to just steamroll Fire here. This is one of those scenarios where technically Fire and Goku are supposed to have the better army, but they're forced to chase. They're forced to chase knights here. I like how Rolls-Royce is using his leftover knights to just try to get some raiding in and try to force Goku to defend, delaying this push, which is inevitable, and now it is coming in. But it also means that Goku cannot really help Fire that much until this point, and that allows the F-Drams to push in. Look at how the Cavalier are kept in reserve. I like this a lot, because you want to take down those Arbs before you send in the Cavalier. Because what's going to happen here is that Say My Name sees the Cavalier, he'll focus those down, because he knows exactly that the Cavalier are the key to destroying the Rams over here. Looks like Say My Name realizes that this is not a fight that he can take just yet, but Fire has taken a severe beating on his starting base. Like, he pretty much lost his entire farming eco as well. In exchange, the Cavalier dive in, take down the TC here from Rolls-Royce. He's gonna have to make a defensive castle inside his eco. He's only at 16 knights, and it won't help that half of his farming eco is now idle, getting Cavalier and Plate Boarding. At this point, however, Goku is probably thinking about getting to Paladin now, and that's not something that Slavs will have access to. So, in terms of archer players, Say My Name is massively ahead compared to Fire, although Fire's army is twice as big as Say My Name's one. But in terms of cavalry players, it is a massive advantage for Goku. So it comes down to Fire being able to use this army now. He needs to get something done for the army that he has, and it looks like that's the plan. Siege Ram are already being queued up. Still, Fire is gonna need some recovery, and Fire is gonna lose that blacksmith, which means that he won't be able to finish leather archer armor. So yeah, he has twice the army, but he's missing critical armor upgrades over here, and he's getting pushed back quite relentlessly. Rolls-Royce is just waiting for one big pop over here. He wants to surround that army and destroy it as it is. Still though, double the army for KGB. I feel like the fact that Rolls-Royce doesn't really have a huge amount of army here is going to be potentially a nail in the coffin, especially because by the time he gets reasonable Cavalier numbers out, we are gonna have a bunch of Paladin, and guess what? Guess what? Elite Boyar was queued up for a moment by Rolls-Royce. I wonder if that's just the wrong hotkey, it would have been very awkward, as Say My Name actually starts to mine Fire's gold over here. Fire's guard tower takes a couple of shots on the villagers. So, at this point, this has to be Say My Name carry for a while. He has 43 arbs though versus 71. The good news for the Vietnamese team is that Fire has 71 arbs, but these arbs are currently meaningless. So, in this theater, it's even arbalest numbers. Goku is just waiting for the Paladin though. And when Paladin hits, this fight will be decisively in the favor of the Brazilians. On the other hand though, Cavalier are trickling into the base of Goku, and Goku sent pretty much all his cavalry either forward or to the base of Fire. So this cavalry raid here from Rolls-Royce could easily smash the eco of Goku, making him unable to replenish those Paladin. Beautiful quick walls from Rolls-Royce over here, as Fire and Goku will find that town center. Say My Name keeps pushing and pushing over here, adding a couple more Chukonu, something that's gonna help against those rams over here. No siege ram from either side. And what Fire is really struggling with now is production, because guess what? He's losing his ranges really fast, and what Goku is struggling with is raids. Look at this. Goku is down to 78 vills. He's getting raided everywhere by the Rolls-Royce. Fire's team has doubled the army, but almost half the villagers now. And while this army is scary, as we have the Paladin charging in, I kind of feel like if Brazil loses their army over here, and that's a possibility with this much Castle Fire, this much Arbalest and Chukonu Fire, they won't be able to replenish it. So, all those Paladins going down from Goku, he's down to 67 villas with 37 idols. I feel like Vietnam is actually in the driver's seat of this one, as weird as it sounds like. Because they are outnumbered 3-1. But Fire's army over here is not really able to do that much damage, and you see all these Paladins went down. Now it's a lead Boyar actually. So, considering that Say My Name is able to just pin Fire inside his base, Boyar might actually work nicely against Paladins. It's a matter of production. One castle goes down over here, but there is a lot more to come, and there is some Chukonus to back this one up. So, you see, Fire has to retreat, getting Siege Ram right now. This could be a good counterattack though. This could be a very good counterattack from Goku. This is what they need. Goku has taken a massive beating. He's down to 75 vills, which is insufficient for Paladin. But getting into Say My Name's eco and removing 40-50 vills might actually even things out. And now look at this. Rolls-Royce is coming in with his own Cavalier. He doesn't have Paladin available, but the Rams will go down. And those Arbalests are also sort of caught off position. They only have +2 defense as opposed to +4 as well. So this once again was a good fight. Goku is out of gold, by the way, as Rolls-Royce still has mineable gold left. That's the other thing to point out. Goku has no gold income. So he had 27 Paladins a couple of minutes ago, now it's 29. He barely is producing any Paladin. Say My Name is gonna have to do a mass migration here as well, as they are setting up the trade right now. Oh, this game is just so chaotic. There is the Boyar, and boy oh boy, will they smash those Paladins. And I just can't help but wonder, Goku is really struggling against those raids. He's trying to replenish his villager count, but he's like at steady 80, and when this army gets cleaned up, there is no hope for KGB. The army numbers are evening out, and suddenly Vietnam is in the population lead. Because, yeah, sure enough, KGB has a bigger army, but I'm not saying that they were actually doing that much with it. They obviously decimated the eco of Say My Name here at least, destroyed the TC, idled the farmers, but the villager count is still there for Say My Name. So that's at least something that helps, and that villager count helps take Fire's gold mine over here. That extra gold obviously allows them to go for more arbs, and here come the Boyar. And don't underestimate those Boyar, they have 7 pierce armor, the same as Paladins. Paladins have more HP, but Boyars are just as good as Paladins over here, and holy potatoes. I think the key here is just cleaning up those Paladins, and the Paladins are getting absolutely shredded by the Boyars. Goku is down to 13 army, most of that being light cap. Talk about the lead Boyar in 2v2s. That's a cleanup. That's a cleanup, and look at the population. Vietnam almost pop-capped. KGB nowhere close to that, and now the cavalry are running into Fire's eco. Goku is recovering economically, so he's back to 97 vills, and the siege ram are coming in. But guess what? Chinese have Chukonu, and Chukonu destroys siege rams very easily. Plus, now you have a cavalry player with 27 elite boyar, something that can just keep running around. What a masterpiece this is from Rolls-Royce. I saw someone in chat saying that you don't know much about Rolls-Royce. Well, he's the boyar whisperer apparently. They're going to start stonewalling this side so that they can secure their trade. KGB does have the markets up for the trade, but not the trade cards just yet. It's just now coming out for fire. But look at the army numbers. Now it's double for Vietnam, and they have 70 extra villagers as well. And that's a lot of boyars. And really dealing with boyars here is gonna be rough, because, as I said, they're almost as powerful against archers as paladins are, but they just absolutely shred paladins. I was doubting boyars in the first place, but Boyar Chukunu, oh my goodness, that is an absolutely brutal composition. And now Fire is getting absolutely shredded. He still has a lot of arbs, but I mean, 28 arbs versus 45 over there, that's gonna trade off. And then there is Chukunu, and then there is Boyar. And it's not like the Chukunu will struggle against the Rams either, so you see, this is gonna be a cleanup here. As Fire is gonna call the GG comeback? I kind of feel like it's a comeback from Vietnam strategy A over here, and a bit of an upset as well. The Boyar coming in clutch very, very nicely. Say My Name was playing like an absolute beast in this one, by the way, so he was able to just pressure Fire so much and use that early Imperial Age to decimate Fire's starting base. This was Fire's starting base, by the way. And then you had the Rolls-Royce, who was able to survive this aggression. This is a very, very hard defense for Rolls-Royce. He was up against two Imperial Age players, the Arbalest and Cavalier, inside his base when he was still Castle Age. But he managed to pull it off, and then I was doubting the Boyars at first, but that helped quite a bit. The bigger thing that helped before, though, was raiding Goku, because that bought the time you needed for the Boyars. If you look at the timeline, this is the time period we're talking about. It was a massive lead at this point for Fire and Goku, and then Rolls-Royce was just able to use the little cavalry he left to decimate the economy of Goku, and that's what bought them the time to just gradually increase those Boyar numbers, and also to have the Chukunu transition for Say My Name. Over here, we are gonna have the first game in the hands of Vietnam Strategy A over here. I don't even know when was the last time I saw Boyars in a competitive environment, but it was definitely a fun one to look at them right now. Vietnam Strategy A takes game number 1 over here, which means we go to the second game over here, and that is going to be on the home map of KGB, Kawasan or Atacama, two very, very different maps. To start with, let's see what KGB decides to do over here. There is multiple options. As I said, if they want to play very aggressive, then Atacama is the way. If they want a slower pace game, then Kawasan is a better decision. And we're going to Atacama. So, looks like we will have Fire and Goku remaining as well for KGB. Steven and a bunch of numbers, thank you so much for the new sub. Welcome. I appreciate it. Welcome to Atacama. This is the Red Bull Volo version of Atacama. So you are gonna have a bunch of water in the corners for fishing. We'll have Malay for Say My Name in red here. So he really wants to take that fishing. Otherwise, picking Malay here is an awkward choice. But he probably wants to think about those long-lasting fish traps for Malay. And you're gonna have Khmer for Rolls-Royce, the ultimate Southeast Asian combination. A civilization that allows you to jump into houses, very, very hard to raid. Good civilization for this map, probably my favorite. Also strong economy. Woven531, thank you so much for the new sub as well, welcome. The response will be Teutons for Goku in green. A very slow-moving cavalry civilization for such an open map. And lastly, Koreans for Fire in blue, which is even more so surprising. It obviously is a strong archer civ, but it's probably more about the towers here. Wolven, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Appreciate it a lot. Welcome. for everybody that received the sub. Thank you so much for the support. And Unexpected Paladin, thank you so much for the gifted sub to the one and only Keegan. And that makes it 69 gifted subs by you. That's also something that's worth highlighting. So, I feel like Koreans and Archer Civ is alright here. But what really is the thing for Koreans is towers. Getting those guard towers up in Castle Age to secure the middle could be a decisive factor, I would say. So, we got archers coming in for fire over here. Koreans, obviously, are getting the extra defense upgrade immediately, so it helps quite a bit. On the other side, I kind of feel like on such an aggressive map, the fact that you spend less time going up to the next stage with melee is something that's even more valuable. Because you can just quickly get to the next stage, get your power spike going. Every second that you spend aging up is a potential danger in Empire Wars Atacama, even in Standard Atacama as well. Houses coming in for Rolls Royce, and you see that the archers of fire are here, but the villagers will just say yoink, and they will jump into the houses. They will jump into the houses. There they are. This also allows you to sort of transport villas in between on the outside and the inside, so you don't need a gate or anything. Obviously, these villagers are right now idle, but being idle is still better than being dead, as the old Dakota saying goes. Right now, it looks like Rolls-Royce is investing a lot more into scouts. Some of them are poking around the base of fire over here, whereas the other 4 is apparently missing in action. They are about to rejoin this group over here. We have the attack upgrade in for Rolls-Royce. No defense upgrade or bloodlines yet. The only player that's fishing, by the way, is Goku. So that's gonna be a nice little extra piece of economy for them. And for Rolls-Royce, it's getting more and more disturbing that he is gonna have a lot of idols here. That's 7 idols for a consistent amount of time. Not necessarily ideal. Meanwhile, for Say My Name, looks like he might be trying to hit that Castle Age power spike with melee here, because he's banking up a lot of food. Also, moving out to the archers, hitting the Teutons player, and this is where spears and archers can definitely matter, especially if the Teutons don't have bloodlines yet. Looks like that house finally went down to the scouts over here, but there's 2 more houses, so Rolls-Royce will probably just try to raid the eco of fire here, and this is massive. Intercepting a group of 4 archers with the scouts would have been massive had Rolls-Royce paid attention, but he didn't, so those archers will live to see another day. For now, looks like these scouts with just +1 attack will jump this fight. That's a little bit premature. You at least want to get +1 defense now that you started it before taking that fight. Also worth noting that these are Teuton scouts over here, so they have 1 extra melee armor. So you really needed that +1 defense in before you took that fight. It's gonna be a cleanup nonetheless. And there is still Say My Name to punish Goku here. Goku getting a mill up. He went for a tower, and that tower actually garrisons 10 people. So part of the reason why Teutons are nice here is because you can jump into towers with more vills. Thank you so much, Mostly Harmless, for the new sub. Welcome. Appreciate it. So as things stand, economy is slightly better for the Vietnamese team, and they also have a wheelbarrow in this one, but the key thing is that Say My Name is about to click up to Castle Age. His eco is a little bit unbalanced, so you are gonna have a bit of a delay here still. The melee player will get to Castle Age pretty fast. Indeed, the extra melee armor is from Castle Age, but you already had the melee armor in for Goku, that's what I was referencing to. But true, the Teuton extra melee armor for cavalry only is applicable starting Castle Age. So, spears and archers out now for fire, and he just massacres all those scouts from Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce really needs bloodlines here. He invested a lot into his scouts, but he never got bloodlines. Compare it to Goku. And the bloodlines really matters when it comes to fighting spearmen, when it comes to fighting archers, and that could be the perfect fight here for Goku. +1 defense is in, he's got bloodlines as well. That's the fight that you want to take. The spearmen fall, the archers will try to take the best possible fight. That's the nightmare here for Say My Name. He's trying to out-micro them, and he's heading towards the hill, spearmen coming in to support. So it is just enough for semi-name to hold this, and this is why that fast age up for Malay matters a lot. Because that half a minute that you save is massive, because now you can go for Botkin and Crossbowman. Fire trying to hit the wood line of our red player, semi-name here, but that didn't happen because of the defensive tower. There is the crossbows heading towards Fire right away. Fire just not going for the second range himself. Currently the ecos are dead even, because while Goku lost a couple of wills, he does have some fishing eco that's completely untouched right now. Rolls Royce still without bloodlines on those scouts. That's so awkward. I kind of feel like if you went this heavy on scouts, might as well grab bloodlines. It looks like those crossbows are going straight into the base of Fire over here, completely ignoring the tower Fire. I like how Fire is playing tower defense here, especially with Koreans. When he reaches Castle Age, those will turn into guard towers, and they will be a very formidable building to hold your base with. Couple of crossbows trying to line the back of the wood line, but those will be picked off by the scouts. So, look at this. Look at what Goku is doing here. He's actually going to make houses here to prevent villagers from potentially getting a tower up here, or just come more archers coming in there into that opening. So I like that he's blocking the option of the opponents getting some towers or archers out there. The last player to Castle Age will be Goku though. Despite the fact that he's got the fishing eco and he's got the Teuton farming, he went way too heavy on scouts, I believe. Because now those scouts won't do much against crossbowmen, and they won't do much against knights either. When you go this heavy on scouts, you have to be proactive and you have to push the opponent's base. Otherwise, your economy is just gonna get raided by Castle Age units. So I kind of feel like Goku wasn't proactive enough here with the scouts, pushing while their opponents were aging up. So we will have most of those crossbows cleaned up, but still, Goku is in Feudal Age, and you see that there is a new group of crossbows already coming in. Plus, there is gonna be knights, which is the bigger deal. Rolls Royce is already pushing out with the knights. In this one, 4 fishing ships right now for Goku. Villager counts are still pretty much dead. Even a third range is in as well for semi-name, so he's going very aggressive in this one. For Rolls Royce, it looks like he's also going triple stables. He made multiple defensive towers, and he could afford a TC if he wanted to. We'll see if he wants to add additional town centers or just plays aggressive with triple stables. Over here, Goku's gonna get pushed off from his wood line, which is obviously gonna hurt quite badly. Remember, he's still feudal. So it's not like he has the knights to clean this one up, and I feel like this might be spiraling out of control here for Brazil. Because Goku being off from wood will mean that he's gonna struggle replenishing farms, and that's gonna hurt his food eco. He still has some time to recover, but you see, many of these farms, or at least some of them, are just about to run out. So the lack of wood income could really hurt here for Goku. There is gonna be towers though for Fire. This is what I was talking about. When you pick Koreans for this map, you have to do this. Drop towers in the middle, because that's insanely hard to clean up for the enemies. Knights already coming in to raid the eco of Goku. I just feel like he spent a little too much time in feudal, or he wasn't active enough with his scouts attacking the opponent. That's the alternative. If you spend this much time in feudal, you have to pretty much destroy the economy of your opponent while he's aging up, and that didn't happen. Ballistics on the way for Say My Name. He also is on 2 TCs already. Fire just now making the third one over here. 30 crossbows versus 28. Slightly better villager count for Say My Name over there. Say My Name and Fire are relatively even, but Rolls Royce seems to be a lot ahead compared to Goku. I mean, Rolls Royce is already on 2 TCs, making the third one. And Rolls Royce is 59 villas versus 49 in this one. So now we're gonna have... Look at this. That's Ornlu coming back. If P1 is making towers, does that make them fire towers? No, they're still guard towers. And I would appreciate, speaking of Koreans, if you keep your jokes away from my stream. Get it? Keep your jokes. Thanks for the resub, Ornlu. Welcome back. Alright, so better late than never, says Goku finds his way up to Castle Age, but his eco is very heavily battered here. he has lost 20 free wills in this game. Mostly to scouts, but some to archers, some to knights over here. It wasn't like one big slaughter, it was more like a gradual decrease in villager population that may just continue as those crossbows are heading straight towards the base of Goku. On the other side, fire might be heading towards Rolls-Royce here, as a guard tower is being attempted, but only with one villager. There was a second lady, but she ended up dying to that knight, so guess what, the tower isn't going up. And look at Say My Name. He is imping here. He is imping, and the thing is that when you click up to the next stage, I thought this already, in Atacama, or such an open map, it's always a danger. You expose yourself to your opponent just overrunning you with more units from the previous age. But with Melee, you reduce the amount of time you need to go up to the next stage, and that helps immensely. Just trying to get to that power spike a little earlier. So, Say My Name looking really strong here. This tower gets denied, and when Arbalest hits, Bombard Cannon is not gonna be very far away either. And I feel like Goku is just gonna get steamrolled here. He barely has the knights to hold against those crossbows, let alone Arbalests. Though I feel like this may be an overextension here from Say My Name. He has to be careful not to lose his crossbow numbers. But at this point, Fire is not really close to Imperial. Trying to get this tower up here, but I'm not even sure if this is going up, honestly. This tower is shooting at all those villagers. Looks like the tower will eventually go up. The good thing that Rolls-Royce could do, as Goku immediately calls the GG upon seeing Imperial. Goku immediately calls GG. Holy potatoes. That was brutal. Say My Name is doing some massive... I'm not going to say carrying, because it's not like Rolls-Royce is playing bad. In fact, Rolls-Royce is playing just fine. If you look at his villager count, it's perfectly fine. But Rolls-Royce isn't doing anything special, anything fancy. But Say My Name has been dominating these two games in a pretty decisive fashion. Reaching Imperial, Fire and Goku know exactly that with Melee, there is gonna be Arbalest, there is gonna be Bombard Cannon, and boy oh boy. The thing is that while at first I was hesitant to say if Melee is a good idea, I like the thought process behind that one, and it looks like Say My Name and Rolls-Royce came in prepared for this one, because that is now 2-0 on their side. So Melee will be a victory for them, so is Khmer. They went for the Southeast Asian civilizations, and they actually were successful with that versus Teutons. For Goku wasn't a bad choice. I personally prefer Khmer over here though. And also, the other thing, Koreans, it's a good choice, especially if you can get your towers up. But that never really was a possibility for Fire. And part of the reason why is, well, part of the reason why this snowballed out of control. Why Bombard Cannons? I missed patch changes? What? Melee always had Bombard Cannons, so Melee will just do this with Arbalest and Bombard Cannon, so that's why they ended up resigning over here. So Vietnam Legends takes over on Atacama as well, which leaves us with Kawasan only as the remaining home map of KGB. They were the favorites of that set, but it looks like we might be in for a bit of an upset here. So, we are gonna have game number 3 coming in here in a matter of moments, going to Kawasan, a map where Japanese is almost guaranteed, and maybe Huns could be a nice combination. Let's see if Ryut actually ends up playing here, because he's technically the third player of this KGB team, but it looks like that's not gonna be the case. Fire and Goku remain versus Say My Name and Rolls-Royce. Welcome to Kawasan, a map with plenty of gold on the outside, 4 pawns, 1 safe in between 2 teammates, and the 1 contested on each side that is being fought for by 2 sides. We're going to have Tatars for fire in blue and Indians for Goku in green. Interesting combo of civilizations. Indians with the camels and Tatars probably with cav archers. Whereas on the other side, Italians for Say My Name in red and Rolls-Royce as yellow with Franks. So Franks obviously benefiting from the berry bonus. If you actually secure some map control, we are gonna have theses here from the Frankish player and getting some food income from those berries over here. So, we got Crash Bond. Thank you so much for the second month of resub. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Here come the Frankish scouts. Will obviously be better in early game compared to the Indian scout. But once Indian scouts get bloodlines, that actually swings in the favor of Indians. And this is where we have to talk about the fact that Franks will struggle pretty mightily against Indians. So this Indian pick from Goku may have been a counter pick of some sort to the civilizations that they predicted for Vietnam. And we are going to rewind this here a little bit, because you see that I'm fairly certain Say My Name saw that scout coming, because he is going to wall that villager from the outside. Very nicely done over here. Looks like archers are coming in here for fire. 2 range is already producing, and he's going to loop all the way around here, trying to hit this part of Say My Name's base. Meanwhile, Scout Scuffle on the right side. Goku already starting to mine stone. Makes me wonder if he wants to go for a relatively early castle age. The only player that went for a dock is Rolls-Royce, adding a couple of fishing ships over here. As, oh boy, Say My Name deletes a wall here so that he can actually go back, but this may backfire really badly. Because not only is he gonna lose that villager, now there is an open way into his base, and this is the first crucial mistake that he has made, although looks like the villager is safe. The villager is safe here, and once again, looks like Say My Name, even when it feels like he's making a mistake, looks like he's coming out better out of that. Here come the scouts from 2 directions, being chased down by the ones of Goku. No upgrades for Goku. Forging is coming in here for Rolls-Royce, so this is why he turns back and takes this fight. But there is a Spearman joining, so he shouldn't be able to win that. Behind this one, big Archer Micro coming in, though, and Fire is actually very good with Archer Micro here. That shows a couple of skirms will need to be mixed in by Say My Name. So far, it has been pretty much 1v1s on both sides. This is why skirmishers are at least moderately viable over here, because there is no cavalry support coming from Goku right now at least. Castle Age, just distant dream for everybody, but obviously the fact that Rolls-Royce is adding fish as well is going to boost his economy. And you see, it's 2 1v1s, one on the left, one on the right. Now Rolls-Royce looping all the way around and he's heading towards fire. This could be a perfect timing. There is the scouts of Goku heading towards Rolls-Royce though, but Rolls-Royce is pretty much fully walled, whereas Fire isn't. If Fire's gold mine here gets exposed, his archer production is gonna suffer. Now Say My Name is in trouble here because he's losing villagers, he's losing this fight, but he might be compensated by the fact that Fire now has to evacuate his gold mine. This will slow down the archer production of Fire considerably. You see that Goku is going to realize what's going on, and he's gonna head towards Say My Name as well, because that would be a nice way to retaliate. And as much as Fire was open, Say My Name is also pretty open over here. Goku turns back for a moment, and that's going to delay the arrival of those scouts, while we still have Rolls-Royce just slaughtering villagers here for Fire. Fire has lost 3 villagers in this one, only killed 2, and I see a couple more villagers going down over here for Fire. Let's make it 5. That's a brutal count. That's a brutal count over here. Added to the fact that Rolls-Royce has the only operational fishing eco in the game, and suddenly you start to feel like Vietnam actually is once again in the driver's seat. And it looks like Goku had to just send all his scouts to help Fire over here, but that means that those scouts aren't pushing the base of Say My Name, and Say My Name has time to wall up the north. Meanwhile, Gate coming in here to allow the archers to leave. First to Castle Age will be Rolls-Royce, which is a massive thing here, being able to beat Indians to Castle Age means that you're gonna have knights and they won't have camels. And those early knights could just push off the opponent from the gold, preventing additional camels from being added. That's a massive thing here for Rolls-Royce. Additionally, if he secures map control, he can TC the middle, and he's gonna have pretty much infinite food, and berries get it a lot faster for Franks. Same thing here for Goku. He's spending a lot of time in Feudal Age, as now he's doing some massive market usage here, selling his stone even to go up. He kinda realized that he needs to go up ASAP, as for now Rolls-Royce isn't actually falling behind, he's just gonna start doing that right now. Archers, potentially hitting a couple of villagers over here for Rolls-Royce, and I don't think that he should open his base for these vills. He just needs to swallow this spell, lose 2 vills, and that's it. But this also means that they know that Fire's archers are over there. There is also some more archers coming in here for Fire to push away Rolls-Royce from the gold mine. Rolls-Royce is half a minute away. He does have +1/+1, so his initial knights should be able to clean this one up, but he will be off from gold momentarily. And he does have a backup gold mine over here that he could use. It could still be denied by Fire though. Still, look at this. He's just trying to get as much gold as he can, and now the first couple of knights should be able to push this back, and behind this one, Say My Name is pushing out, pushing Fire over here. It's mostly skirms on this front line, but it is Fire's place, or Fire's base, where the fight is taking place, and that is an advantage for Vietnam, because they can snag a couple more villager kills over here, another 2 go down from Fire. 97 to 96 is the villager count, but the army of Fire over here is gonna get cleaned up, potentially this one as well. And on the other side, crossbows may be heading towards Goku now. Say My Name and Rolls-Royce are very close to qualifying over here. Oh, those light cav might just hit the archers just in time. This would be perfect timing over here. Goku even goes for the Indian light cavalry. These guys already have 4 pierce armor, so this is actually a very good fight over here for Goku. There is the TC I was talking about for Rolls-Royce. He wants to snag the middle, then make a monastery, and they pick up the relics. He's got 6 relics available in the middle, as both Say My Name and Fire are about to start fishing. Say My Name getting the first fire galleys out to destroy Fire's fish. Goku is also fishing, so everybody is now adding economy on the water. And this is the time where Say My Name's archers will be much needed dealing with those camels, otherwise there is gonna be problems for Rolls-Royce. So maybe the Brazilians have survived the worst part and it's just gonna get better now. So, light cav coming in here with sort of the chance to stop that TC. They were idle for some time, but that is a TC that's not going up for Rolls-Royce, and now he's gonna pay the price for that really badly, down to 52 villagers. That is 84% TC denial, and that means that you pretty much have a bunch of resources that you are unable to use here, because these are just sort of stuck in this TC. We have Fire ships even in for Say My Name. He's gonna be able to destroy this dock, meaning that he will start his own fishing economy. Second TC coming in for Goku. We already have a second one for Fire. Rolls-Royce is on 2 TCs as well. He still has this one up over here in the middle, but his gold mine is dangerously open, and this is the first game. Well, we mentioned that Rolls-Royce wasn't playing completely amazing, but the key thing here is that Say My Name isn't able to carry anymore. I think the Brazilians may have gotten to the point where they realized that if they double Say My Name, then Rolls-Royce might not be able to carry the game. So, with the Indian camels destroying buildings pretty fast, that stable goes down, and I'm looking at just a couple of archers here. Again, the couple of knights versus camels and crossbows. This is looking pretty grim for Say My Name and Rolls-Royce. Over here, we will have camels, crossbows coming in as well. Reinforcements could also get intercepted from Say My Name, so the Brazilians not giving up on this one just yet, because it very much seems like they will be able to push back Rolls-Royce and Say My Name. And this camels now flood in. The camels are not really the villager killing unit here. The villager killing unit will be the crossbowmen. They do not have ballistics, by the way, but they do have thumbring, so it helps a little bit. And you see that the middle is still denied. Now Rolls-Royce is on 3 TCs, but obviously most of his farming eco is gone. He can only make knights, so they are really counting on the crossbows of Say My Name to make a difference, but they cannot. There is 11 crossbows for Say My Name, 20 with Tumbling for Fire, and Fire switching into Cav Archers, which would give him additional mobility. So this is looking very problematic right now for Vietnam. It's far from over, because Vietnam still has a bit of an eco lead, and we have seen some comeback style plays. Rolls-Royce does have quite a few fishing ships indeed, and now he's reclaiming his gold mine. This army could easily get trapped in here, that's what Vietnam has to hope for, and this is a beautiful move here for Fire. They realize the fishing ships are here, and that's exactly what they have to clean up. They're just trying to push Rolls-Royce down into a very, very deep pit. But you also have to consider something. If you are pushing the yellow player here into a very deep pit, that means that Say My Name is relatively untouched. And indeed, both against Cav Archers and both against the Camels, the Genoese crossbows would absolutely shred everything. So I think that the Brazilians still have to be careful here. Because Rolls-Royce is taking the role of the punching bag, but he is just suffering from idle time. That's the only thing. He's still not losing villagers, so in the moment that Fire and Goku leave this place, Rolls-Royce would be able to just get back to normal operations. This is not a good fight for Rolls-Royce though, this is far from being good. TC Fire obviously helps quite a bit, as he is gonna end up taking this fight, and it actually goes better than I expected. This goes way better than I expected. Most of those camels are dying. Upgrades are +1/+2 versus +1/+2, so it's not the upgrades making the difference here. It's probably the lack of crossbows, and honestly, the Brazilians do get cleaned up over here more or less. Rolls-Royce is not in an amazing position by any means, as more camels trickle through the map, but the fact that the Brazilians are focusing everything on destroying Song Song, and behind this one, Say My Name is completely untouched, is disturbing for the Brazilians. Still, if you look at the overall economies, it's not like Goku is suffering from a lot of pressure or fire, so at the end of the day, sure enough, Say My Name is untouched, but so are the Brazilians. Bloodlines coming in now for Fire, as the main problem here for Say My Name is that he doesn't really have the numbers to help his teammate, and also to help defend his own base. Now, however, looks like Rolls-Royce is able to recover his base over here, colonizing this position over here for a bit of a stone. A defensive castle would definitely be helpful, and we have seen how Rolls-Royce can use his cavalry to raid. This might be the moment to strike, because they see that Goku's cavalry is over here. If those knights gallop into the base of Fire and remove 15, 20 villagers, that's definitely going to swing the battle back in the favor of Vietnam's hand, I would say. Right now, the only advantage that Fire and Goku's team have is unit composition-wise. Army numbers are even, villager counts are even, so it's a matter of unit composition, as we have that TC being walled in. There's still an opening there, and a knight could go in, but that TC is going up. Still, Rolls-Royce will try to do the exact same thing as in game number 1. Just go in with the remaining knights, try to inflict as much damage as possible. Goku is about to go into Imperial. We already have Say My Name clicking into Imp as well. Fire for now is going to react nicely. There's a couple of camels, so the defense here for the Brazilians is much better than it used to be. And it looks like Rolls-Royce is not really bothering walling behind this one for the time being. So Goku selling resources to go into Imperial as the camels now dive in. Ballistics just now in for Fire, but now he has Cav Archers, and cleaning up those Cav Archers is going to be an absolute pain. Still, stone mining in for Say My Name. He is going to start mining stone for Genoese crossbowmen eventually. And as I said, as long as Rolls-Royce is the punching bag, Say My Name might be able to snowball this game. Because he is about to hit Fire from the back. It's not like he can kill an awful lot here before encountering that TC, but Fire might just run into those crossbows over here. I think he just saw the crossbows on the mining camp, so that's definitely something that buys himself some time. Rolls-Royce is the punching bag, but honestly, for a punching bag, his economy is still pretty good. It's not ideal by any means for Rolls-Royce, but the good thing here is that he's delaying 2 players, and he's not actually losing a lot in the process. He's losing stuff, but it's not something that's decisive. Whereas right now, Say My Name could march into the base of Fire over here and potentially deal a decisive blow, especially if he actually accompanies those crossbows, or soon-to-be Arbs, with some bombard cannons. So right now the knights jump on the cav archers and the camos. Wait a second. No way, Rolls-Royce. You didn't just do that, right? You didn't just do that. Nope. It was a bit of a trap over here. We have to rewind a little bit. I thought he actually trapped this entire army in here, but the camos are isolated from the cav archers. This is why you needed these houses here, and Rolls-Royce needs to delete this. Delete the house, build another house here, and those camos will get trapped there forever, and the castle's gonna kill them. That's a possibility. Right now there is an escape here for the camos, but in the moment you delete this house and replace it over here, that's going to be a trap. Looks like the camos will be able to break through, but Goku thinks twice before charging in. He wants to get the Imperial Age upgrades for those. Meanwhile, the crossbows did a bit of a rampage inside the base of Fire over here. Fire is still at 96 villagers, but he's going for elite skirms with Tatars, which is not a good sign if you ask me. And with that defensive castle up, those camos will no longer be able to push Goku here either. Chemistry on the way for Say My Name, whereas Heavy Camo is coming in for Goku right now. The Brazilians do have the monastery in the middle, so that's going to be 6 relics pretty easy, plus a lot of food here as well. But keep in mind that Rolls-Royce, as I said, he was the punching bag, but it's not like he was taking enormous losses. Uh-oh, this could be troublesome for Say My Name here, although those are still Castle Age camos. So without Blast Furnace to increase their attack, without the Heavy Camo upgrade, this feels a little bit premature. And sure enough, they might clean up the ARPs here, but most of those camos will bite the dust. And I think that's a win for Say My Name. Taking down most camos means that his teammate can flood the map with knights. And that's exactly what Say My Name wants. Just take down the camos, as many of them as you can, just before the Heavy Camo upgrade. Goku still has a lot of them, but suddenly more ARBs arrive. Ring Archer armor, I see Kept Rams coming in, and just look at how inefficient this fight was for Goku. Every camo that dies gives more freedom for Rolls-Royce to use his Cavalier, or soon-to-be Cavalier, because he's imping. And as I said, he was the punching bag, but he never actually lost a huge amount of wills. Throughout this time, he lost 22 wills and killed 19 in the game. So all those raids inside his eco was just causing idle time, and look at this. Kept Rams now in. Narrow choke points here, impossible for those camos to get surrounds on those ARBs, so the Arbalest will just tear apart the camos. A castle drop coming in here on the right side, and a castle in the middle as well for Genoese crossbows. Most of the camos are going down, and when Rolls-Royce reaches Imperial, he could just go for Cavalier now that there is barely any camos on the field, and Genoese crossbows haven't even gotten used yet. That's the next step most likely here for the Vietnamese team. So many camos going down here, as another castle comes in from Rolls-Royce. He's even making throwing axemen just so that he has something against those camos, and because Fire is forced to fight here, the throwing axemen might work. It definitely is going to do better against the camos than Knights will, as this castle is also going up. There is still some camos over here slaying villagers from Say My Name, something that he didn't notice, but at this point, the last player to Imperial will be Fire, and now this is what I would call an upset. Fire and Goku were the favorites of this one, but Rolls-Royce is the real surprise here. Say My Name is also exceeding expectations, but Rolls-Royce is playing surprisingly well, as there is going to be a third castle here. Immediately traps are added so that the TCs can be destroyed, and in the moment those TCs go down, the food eco gets raidable. If the food eco is raidable, your camo production is just going to fall apart, and we still haven't even talked about the 40 ARBs that are on the field. We have the Imp camos now charging into the base of Rolls-Royce, but Rolls-Royce is already taking into hubs here. So Rolls-Royce once again will be able to hold this one fairly cost efficiently, as now the stables that are producing the camos, by the way, are also wide open for those castles to destroy. Traps already being set up. This is an amazing set for Vietnam Legends. Or, well, not Vietnam Legends, they're not the Legends of Vietnam. That's ACCM and Bacti by their team name. They're just Vietnam Strategy A. A team that many would have said, oh yeah, they have a shot here, but Fire and Goku should be the favorites. And heck no, Say My Name is playing out of his mind, and also Rolls-Royce is playing out of his mind. Look at this once again. Holy smokes, this guy again. I mean, the camels can break through the gates here, but I value the effort. I really value the effort here. He tried it. He really tried it. Still, those camels are very, very mispositioned right now. They are not really able to influence much. They might kill a couple of villagers, but that's it. Fires up to Imperial as well, trying to get heavy cav archer immediately, but the battering ram, now it's actually a cav ram, taking down the castle over here, potentially taking down the trap as well. Castle falls for Goku over here. Meanwhile, we have arbalests from Say My Name marching into the base of Fire over here. A lot of chaos, a lot of destruction, and look at this. Look at the Rolls-Royce now. He's even getting Botkin arrow just so that his castles actually are more powerful. Now this is a considerable raid here. Goku needs to raid their way back into the game. He's the one with the fast units. Although Fire does have cav archers as well. The only way back for the Brazilians, I believe, is if they raid their way back. But even then, stopping this snowball might be really hard. So you see castles falling over here. This will result in relics being taken over by Say My Name. The only elevation on the map is in the middle here. So that's one of the reasons why Tatars is a somewhat questionable choice here, if you ask me. Because Tatars really want to use that elevation bonus, and the only place where you can use this in the middle on this map. There is no other hills. Say My Name did lose some over here, but I mean, he's still at 75 army, and if you look at the population, that's actually dead even. Those cav archers have 6 pierce armor. I think Say My Name needs more Genoese crossbows here, because just yet his army is not capable of beating those cav archers. We have been sleeping on those CA for long. 6 pierce armor. The Genoese crossbows would shred them, but there is barely any Genoese on the field. Those are just Arbs, and the Arbs are going down quite rapidly over here. As at this point, Goku is just going to try and slow this one down as much as possible, so that at least Fire has a chance to get them back in the game. Fire is going to dispatch the cav archers to deal with the halberdiers, as it looks like this is an interesting scenario. Free traps shooting at both castles. If they focus down one, then castle would fall really fast over here. There's a chance both castles will fall, but there's a chance neither will fall. So this is a risky call here. For Rolls-Royce, he's gonna take down one castle over here. The halberdiers are pretty out of position, so the cav archers could deal with them, but it very much seems like the castles go down, and in the moment, the cav archers are drawn away from combat in the middle. Say My Name takes over, and we already have Pavise coming in. He's gonna have Genoese out, and as the Genoese crossbow numbers increase, it's gonna be worse and worse for the Brazilians. Plus, Bombard Tower could be an option for Italians. Looks like Guard Tower is the play for Say My Name, which is a little awkward. At this point, mass migration for Goku. They still have the eco lead, and the 50 cav archers is still a considerable blob. But, oh my goodness. Arrow slits? Looks like he's not planning on bombard towers, he just wants standard arrow towers. But Fire is getting squeezed from multiple directions. There is actually tower rushes over here on the left side. Fire trying to get some wood over here. Another castle coming in, and Rolls-Royce clicks the pardon button. There is barely any camels now. 21, yeah, it's nice, but it's not an awful lot. And Goku has to reposition his entire food eco, so there is definitely a window now for Paladins, especially with the Genoese crossbow numbers increasing steadily here. 1.5 minutes away from Paladin's Rolls-Royce, although he doesn't have a single Cavalier, so nothing is gonna get upgraded immediately. And this castle also gets denied. Chemistry coming in now for Fire. I think he might be missing Silk Armor still, as his tower also goes down. He has a watchtower, he's up against the guard tower. But obviously he's paying attention to microing his cav archers, Jambos, now taking this fight, and you see the difference. Arbalest just died to the cav archers with 6 pierce armor, Genoese crossbows will laugh at them. So now, as the Genoese crossbow numbers start to increase, Elite is coming in, and we have 4 castles in the middle solidifying that position. I just don't see this one happening for Brazil. I just feel like they're out. And Chivalry is coming in as well for Rolls-Royce. This map has an awful lot of goats, you don't need to trade a lot. And that also allows you to just flood pod in over here. Ramp push coming in now by Fire, something that Italians will struggle against a little bit when they are full archers, but come on. It's hill advantage for the Italians here. More and more Genoese crossbows joining the party. in here, and the bombard cannon will just deal with the rams, and once the rams are gone, the cavalry numbers will slowly be destroyed. It's gonna be a slow process here for Say My Name, but it's definitely something that will eventually happen. And behind this one, as I said, in the moment that Goku moves out with his camos, we are gonna have a castle coming in once again in his face. Paladins are already coming in. I don't think that the Brazilians have a shot here anymore. It is just spiraling out of control. 375 versus 314 is the overall population, and that's now 18 Genoese crossbowmen and increasing. And there is just no answer right now from the Brazilians to the Genoese crossbows. Siege Rams could try contesting this position, but I think it's too far gone now. Elite Genoese crossbowmen and Frankish Paladin with full upgrades, that's a big no over here, and you see that Goku is just forced to mass migrate more and more. Rolls Royce and Say My Name could get a ticket into the main event over here as Vietnam strategy, and you see Cavalry's are nice, but they are not really capable of fighting Paladins that just overrun them, especially if there is Genoese crossbow support. Rolls Royce though, he kind of needs to pull those back right now. But at this point, I kind of feel like, look at what Rolls Royce is doing. They basically force fire to fight over here, and that means that Goku is just going for camels back at home. The halberdiers eat that. Now obviously Goku could try going for cavalry himself, but that takes a lot of time, and he would just get overrun by Paladins. He needs to make heavy cavalry, like camels, otherwise he just gets overrun by Paladin, and it looks like Goku is also going to start struggling with gold, although he snipes a couple of traps with the light cav. Doesn't matter. Rolls Royce and Say My Name just roll into the main event, destroying Fire and Goku here, really. Decisive advantage in most of these games, and we have to highlight how well Say My Name played, but we also have to highlight how well Rolls Royce played. Because Rolls Royce, he's a very unknown Vietnamese player. He's not a bad player, by the way, by any means. I don't exactly know how high he is on the 1v1 leaderboard. He's mostly a team game player as well. But he's a solid player, but never was considered great. But he has played outstanding today. So, congrats to Rolls Royce for this performance. Rolls Royce is not even rated in 1v1, just to highlight this. Rolls Royce doesn't play 1v1s apparently. So that's something that needs to be considered in here. So, Vietnam Strategy A marching into the next round. Beautiful, beautiful set from them. Fire and Goku, they're probably not happy with their performance, but they got outplayed in this one. And really, it was Say My Name who carried the torch, because he was the one that really was the decisive player of these games. But Rolls Royce delivered a solid performance. He did just enough to allow Say My Name to win the games for them.